So you can get really fancy when it comes to extracting your honey. We don't like to be fancy because we don't grow out a ton of honey. We have enough for us, for family, for this year we're thinking of expanding a little bit. And so usually what will happen is you can have an extractor, which is like a big drum. So picture something like this, that you would then take the frames in, and the frames kind of fit in like a little kind of star pattern, and then it comes with a little motor. Sometimes there's a hand crank, and it just kind of spins, and you kind of scratch the top of the combs to break the seal, and then all the honey will kind of leak out, and then there's a little kind of spigot, and you can then pour your honey into jars. So what we do is we do the same process. We have some strainers, so we'll scratch this into a big pot. I don't think I have a pot here. It's in a box somewhere. But we'll scratch out the honey, and then we have a mesh strainer, almost like a spaghetti strainer, fine mesh, and it'll just kind of seep through the bottom into the big pot. Then we take the pot, and then we have this mesh bag. We pour it in here, so we pour this out like this, and we strain it in here, so that'll collect any kind of fine, so you can't probably see it with the camera, but there's like little bits of wax and that kind of stuff, and pollen, and then it'll come down here, obviously, and then we can extract it. So in an apocalypse and motors aren't working and whatever, we can still extract our honey and pour it into jars. So we have a couple of these, and actually it's funny because so this box, if it was filled with honey, each frame will give you about 9 pounds of honey. So if you have 10 frames, you have 90 to 110 pounds of honey per box. And every hive, especially if you're going for honey, you can get I've gotten 3.5 boxes deep. So that's for one person or you can produce your year's worth of honey in that space, in that amount of time. And it stores forever. They found honey in the Egyptian tombs, right? That is still edible because it's antibacterial, antifungal, antimicrobial. It just doesn't rot. So it can change consistency. So it can go from being liquid to creamy to hard, but it can always go back to the liquid state at any time. So another thing we do, and so I'll give you another picture of that.